Is it Senate Majority Leader Joe Bruno? No. It is Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver? No. Is it Governor George Pataki? Yes, that's right. Down on Pataki. The government represents 2.7 million rent-regulated tenants in New York City and its surrounding suburbs. With that many potential votes, the governor is the strongest ally of rent-regulated tenants. Right? Wrong. The governor has stated that he is willing to let rent protection laws expire to strong-arm a deal on a new state budget. Plus, George Pataki was elected with millions of dollars in landlord contributions. Tenants must make it clear to the governor that he will pay a political price if he fails to renew the rent laws with no weakening amendments. Don't let him do it, folks. Make him renew the rent laws with no weakening amendments. 6 weeks left. That's it. That's all the time we have left. But there are still thousands of tenants in key Republican Senate districts that must be mobilized. I'm a tenant and I vote. Remember that. We know that you have been a strong supporter of Tenants and Neighbors campaign to save the rent laws. But mobilizing these tenants will take every resource we've got. We need you to renew your support right now for the final push towards June 15th. And folks, we gave, I think it was $4 we came up with. That was the best we could do. The landlords have more money, but even they admit that with 2.7 million tenants, we have the numbers. To win, we must mobilize these tenants. That's why you must act today. And here's the announcement bus trip to Albany, and that's today, on May the 20th, 1997, Tuesday. Now, you understand that that showing that you saw was just White Plains people, because there's a bus going to Hartsdale, there's a bus coming from Yonkers, there's buses coming from cities all over the United States. And they're going to go up there and they're going to picket Pataki. I think it's great. I just love to see people exercise their free speech. The person to call in White Plains is Marge Pavlica. Hartsdale, White Plains, and North White Plains. And her number is 761-6041. We've given a couple of donations to them. Last chance, Tenant Lobby Day, don't delay, act today. I'd like to have you join this organization, Tenants and Neighbors, to fight greedy landlords. And it says at round 2, the tenants fight back. Nassau campaign turns up the heat on Senate Republicans, by Joe Heafy. Just let me read you the first paragraph of that. This is for you Nassau folks. The statement characterizing tenant organizers was made by Senator Dean Skelos, and he says this small group of elitist ideologues use unsavory tactics to justify their own existence and panic people into believing they will be unceremoniously thrown out of their apartments. Well, they will, because of greedy landlords. In a letter to tenants in Rockville Center and Long Beach, Long Island, who have been working with the help of Tenants and Neighbors and the newly formed Nassau Tenants Coalition, hi Penny, to save the rent laws. Senator Skelos' choice of words shows that tenants have been quite successful in turning up the heat on Skelos and his fellow Republican senators from Nassau County. The campaign to organize tenants in Nassau is being coordinated by the Nassau Tenants Coalition, a group of tenant leaders from Glen Cove, Great Neck, Hempstead, Long Beach, and Rockville Center. The goal of the coalition is to mobilize tenants in communities throughout the county to put pressure on state senators Hannan, Levy, Marcelino, Skelos, and Tully to stand up to their leader in the Senate, Joe Bruno, and extend the rent laws with no weakening amendments. The date mobilization meetings have been taken place are in Glen Cove, Great Neck, Rockville Center, Long Beach, and Hempstead. Meetings are currently being planned for Freeport, Mineola, and Floral Park. Back in just a second. You know, one stockbroker, folks, told the truth. He says, you'd be surprised how many people come to my office with a chauffeur and a Lincoln Continental to get advice from a guy who comes to work on the bus. And Harry says that his stockbroker gets sentimental at Christmas. He hangs mistletoe over the door so his clients can kiss their money goodbye. And a man who is a mogul on Wall Street was asked by his neighbor when he came home from work. When the man came home from work, he says, what's the latest dope on Wall Street? And the mogul said, my son Irving, he just started working for the company. And vacation time is when millions of Americans go beyond the Rubik's Cube and face the ultimate challenge, refolding a road map. And the little girl says, is it true, Mommy, what they teach us in Sunday school, that we come from dust and we return to dust? And Mommy said, certainly. And the little girl says, I just look behind the sofa and somebody's either coming or going. And Bill says it's getting harder and harder for me to support the government in the style to which it has become accustomed. Back.
3 messages, 12:19 p.m. Monday, April 6th. Message tone, 1:01 p.m. Monday, April 6th. Hi, Honduras. Ryan, it's about 2 p.m. and I'm in Jeffersonville, Brooklyn. First of all, hope you can get a call tonight or early tomorrow because I'm not sure exactly when I will be sleeping. I had a very good day over at the New York State Supreme Court Law Library. It's an excellent library over in Brooklyn. You should check it out.
I wrote times about rent control and how we have to save our rent control, these greedy landlords, and Bruno was up there getting a pile of money to get rid of rent control for the landlords. And now we have the Westchester Tenants collision, and that's great. So you want to take this bus trip on the 20th of May to keep the legislature from voting away our rent control and giving all those rights to greedy landlords. And you people down in Yonkers and also White Plains, write to Spano, Nicholas Spano. He, I think, is in favor of saving our rent control. But write him and let him know. Again, keep the greedy landlords from taking away our rent control. Glendora versus Andrew DiPaolo, who's the presiding justice of the appellate term. Like corn. John Porzio, that's an awful thing, you know. We have to pay for the furnace. He had to have a new furnace, and now the tenants have to pay for it. So every month I have to pay him $28 for his major capital improvement. And that's another one of those things that the $1 million landlord lobby got the state legislators to sign, and to the detriment of the tenants, who don't have $1 million to lobby the legislators. The reason I left a message for Officer Andrew Larkin that the deposition of Glendora by COSA about the Andrew Larkin and Kevin Larkin law breaking. Can you imagine that? A police officer would be on television both in Yorktown at 9:30 p.m. Balance is all off. But she's a brave little kitty and a happy little kitty, and we have to support her 100%. So she doesn't hear well, and she doesn't hear voices, and even when she hears a voice, she doesn't know where to locate it because of the balance being off. And but she can hear hand claps, and she can come to the location where the hand claps are coming from after a while. And so I was doing that to get her in to protection, and I clapped like that to get her. And upstairs, brat James Walsh was leaning out his kitchen window, and he was mocking me, clapping for Ginny. and there's just no need of that. That is harassment, intent to annoy and alarm with no legitimate purpose. And both his mother and his father were absent. So he's like an orphan with no parental guidance. Not that that parental guidance would be very good from what you're going to read and what you're going to hear in just a few minutes. The cellar looks so nice. Mary Ann is back. Glendora told her that she had a nice son. He was a good-looking son. And pollution. Jonathan Beach at 6:30 p.m., quote unquote, said that he was seeking a community award. I think it was put up just like the newspaper subscription boy in the summer of 1993. So I talked to him through the door, told him to put it under the door, and then he went away. Also the reason I think it was put up because I didn't hear him asking any of the other tenants, and when he exited the building, he went down through the cellar. He didn't go out the front door. And why does a bee hum? Because it doesn't know the words. The cost of printing the Glendora TV log of last week, the one I just read you, was $4. We don't know what the postage will be to send out the log and the reduced copy of the cross motion to dismiss the motion for all videotapes and audio tapes copies. There was water in the cellar of Building A. It was in there badly. There was water in the cellar of Building C, and it was in there badly, and you shouldn't have to walk through puddles and puddles of water to get to your locker or to get to the recycle cans. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I read you 5 and 6 before. I read you 3 and 4. Okay. The time on this already this week, I told you 25¼ hours on this cross motion last week. So it's up to about 15 hours this week already. The Koza Glendora deposition about the law-breaking of Andrew Larkin has been was on TV, will be on TV tonight, twice, 9:30 p.m. at Cablevision Yorktown, Bedford, Mount Kisco, Putnam Valley, Somers, and Armonk, and at 8:30 p.m. in Harrison and Port Chester. Now, at 11:07 a.m., I said that my next legal paper job was to take half of the wall file to the cellar archives, and it is too heavy for the file drawer. It's breaking the file drawer. So I decided to take all but the last file of Ancient Courts and the first 5 files of the Walsh, Alpucci, and Larkin file. Well, Roberta Walsh was in the cellar doing the laundry, and she whistled at me. I told you that. And then she fluttered her fingers and she made faces, you know, all very infantile things to do. And she's a mother. She really acts like she's under substance abuse, or it might be all the constant smoking and the nicotine damage. But I got the wall file 1 to 5 to the red file box, and then I came back, and with the audio recorder, I kept the audio recorder going. And she didn't say anything, but she made visual harassment. And it's too bad I didn't have the video camera. And so I went upstairs, and I got the next group of files to take down. And as I came into the cellar, she says, "If you're going to harass me, I'm going to call the police." Well, I said nothing to her before, nor during this, nor after it, and I never have spoken to her since it started on Easter Sunday, 1993. And I placed the modern court files in the red file box, and when I came by the laundry area, Roberta was gone, and the time was 11:38 p.m. And so here is a police report by Pino, and Pino says that the complainant reports her neighbor, Glendora, followed her into the laundry room. That's lie number 1. She was in the laundry room when I got there, at 21 Greenwich Avenue, and videotaped her against her will. That's another lie. I didn't videotape her. I audio taped, but she didn't do anything. That was audio. What she did was video. And so I didn't videotape her. And she said that I videotaped her in order to harass her. That's the third lie. I audio taped her because she was annoying and alarming me with no legitimate purpose. That's harassment, part 5. Complainant further says Mrs. Buell is constantly harassing her by other means, and these incidents have been documented. Well, there's lie number 4. I do not harass Roberta Walsh. I videotape or audio tape what she does for evidence. And you can see of these depositions that I've been through, these last 2 depositions, that you need this evidence. Because if the evidence isn't there, they're going to lie, and the lawyers are going to lie. And even when the evidence is there, they're going to lie, and the lawyers are going to lie. So, Glendora has never harassed Roberta Walsh. She never pays any attention. And it's an amazing thing, you know. I never pay any attention to her. I won't speak to her. I won't look at her. And I came down the cellar, and I'm going to the locker with this big pile of files under my arm, and my back is turned. I'm going to the lawyer, and she just can't stand to be ignored, and that's when she went. And she has harassed Glendora at least 300 times. So this is very sad. This is what I say is sad. When a mother of James Walsh and of James Walsh's sister, when a mother lies. I think that's very, very sad. I know she lied, God knew she lied, and she knows she lied. And so it's a very sad thing. The cross motion was submitted Tuesday, 3 days early, and it was served Tuesday, 3 days early. And at 6 o'clock this morning, Franklin and I distributed 14 Walsh, Alpucci, Larkin logs and cross motions to the 14 apartments. And the other 11 will have to be mailed today. So we don't know how much that's going to cost, and I haven't had time to fold stuff and seal those. Those being these.
You want us to stop him from rollerblading because it's making too much noise?
That's absolutely right. That's a White Plains noise ordinance. Now, I told Eric that when I called, this is what would happen.
I'm going to listen to you.
What? You're not going to listen to me? Okay, then hear it on TV. The time is 5:54 p.m. You just heard Officer Knox, December the 20th, 1994, Tuesday.
Are you still on the line, sir?
Yes, I'm on the line, and you're on camera.
Okay, whatever. What do you want us to do?
I want you to come up here, I want you to see him doing it, and I want you to stop him from doing it.
Okay, could you hold on 1 minute? Sir?
Okay, I'll hold on. I'm going to turn off the camera.
Glendora?
Glendora.
And where are you?
21 Greenridge Avenue.
21 Greenridge Avenue.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have to, going to be a while. Okay, I'm kind of busy right now. So why don't you give me your last name again?
It's Glendora.
And you just spell it then.
G-L-E-N.
Right.
D-O-R-A.
Okay.
All right.
And your first name?
It's just Glendora.
What's the first name?
The only name is Glendora.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's it.
Wait a minute, sir. Which is the last name? Hello?
The name is Glendora.
That's your last name, right?
Why don't you ask Chief Bradley?
I'm sorry?
Captain Quinn. Ask Captain Quinn. Ask Chief Bradley. Ask Commissioner
Sir, if
Dulce.
you don't want to give me your name, you can just refuse.
I'm not refusing my name. My name is Glendora. Ask Chief Bradley.
That's your last name.
And ask Captain Quinn.
That's your last name, correct?
And ask the lieutenant. Ask Lieutenant Rossi.
Okay, sir, that's your last name, correct?
My name is Glendora. G-L-E-N-D-O-R-A.
Okay. And where are you?
21 Greenridge Avenue.
Okay. What apartment?
I'm apartment 2A.
2A?
2A, yes.
Okay. What's the phone number there?
914-949.
Right.
9495.
9495.
Yes, please.
Okay. And, sir, I don't mean to upset you again, but I just need you to spell your last name for me.
My name is Glendora, Glendora.
Okay. And your complaint is that somebody's rollerblading too loud?
Not somebody, James Walsh, who lives in apartment 4A. No, 3A.
How do you know it's him?
I know the boy, and I went out and took a videotape of him.
Okay, you're taking a videotape of him now, huh?
Yes, he's a repeated lawbreaker,
He's a lawbreaker.
and I have a civil suit against him.
What's the civil suit about?
Breaking the White Plains noise ordinance, harassment, insulting and abusive language, and emotional disturbance willfully inflicted.
Okay. It's going to be a while until I send a card, all right?
Sure, because the White Plains police always do that, and I can tell you right now what the officer's going to say. Upon arrival at the scene, there was nobody rollerblading. That's what he's going to say.
Let me ask you this. If you know what the officer's going to say, why did you call me?
Because I'm going to make a record of it on television, and I'm going to ask Captain Quinn to watch, and I'm going to ask Chief Bradley to watch, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Dulce to watch.
What's the commissioner's last name?
D-O-L-C-E.
Yeah, but how did you say it?
Dulce is the real way to pronounce it.
Okay, I thought you had the other commissioner. Okay. All right, it's going to be a while. I'll send a card for you, all right, sir?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye. Officer Knox.
Knox.
Yep. College of Hard Knocks. James Walsh. He's gone by, he's harassed us 37 times. He goes up to the corner of our apartment, he turns around, and he goes back down to the other corner of our apartment. And that's 38. And here comes 39. And the date is December the 20th, 1994, Tuesday. This boy already has a police record a mile long. This boy has been on television maybe 55 times, seen in the acts of breaking the laws. He's been on television 55 times. But he never learns. Now this is intentional infliction of emotional disturbance. That's law number 1. Number 2, breaking the White Plains noise ordinance. And number 3 is breaking the harassment law. So this is coming up, number 42 passes. Last night he made 62 passes, 62 torts in front of our windows. He goes to the end of our apartment to the corner, he just turns around, and he comes back by our apartment to the other corner and just turns around. Now I'm going to go out and videotape him in the front here. 428-6181. 428-6181. $81.61, is that what it said? What's the count now? 58. John Porzio's office?
Yeah?
Oh, thanks. Would you give John Porzio a message from Glendora?
Okay.
James Walsh, yes, is is roller skating past our bedroom window. He goes to the corner of our apartment, turns around, and goes back to the other corner of our apartment. And he's done this 58 times tonight. He did it 62 times last night.
He's ice skating?
Roller skate. The hotel clerk said, do you want a room with a tub or a shower? And the traveler says, what's the difference? And the hotel clerk says, well, with a tub you get a chance to sit down. And those hotel signs that say, have you left anything? What should they say, folks? They should say, have you anything left? And life insurance is something that keeps you poor all of your life so that you can die rich. And now quickly, let's get through the law-breaking of Nella Al Pucci, Theo Al Pucci, James Walsh, Daniel Walsh, Roberta Walsh, Andrew Larkin, Kevin Larkin, Conboy, Karamitsos, these are the lawyers, Bendish, McGrath, Odell, Koza, and the ineptitude of the Judge Wood Court, and the law clerk there, is his name Stephen Carlucci or Paul Carlucci? Anyway, he's a confidential law clerk. The judge's confidential law clerk. Here is the report by Officer Fisher telling about Thursday, December the 16th, as I walked down Greenridge Avenue. Theo Al Pucci came along. He was driving the Al Pucci car with a noisy exhaust, noise pollution and air pollution, and he made an obscene gesture and said, send Dad down here. And James Walsh was, was setting up a lie, and so I went in the house, and Daniel Walsh's father was coming down the stairs, and he had that simian look about him and truculent, and I was scared, and James Walsh said she pushed me, which is a lie. It's too bad. And I started going into my home because Daniel Walsh, in that simian, truculent way, was quite threatening. And so he says, oh, it's a good thing that you're going into your house. And then Roberta came down the stairs, and she pushed me, and she shoved me. Now, this is harassment number one, disturbance. And it was before the Tuesday night one when he did that 74 times. And the grade school class went to the fire hall. They were having a tour of the fire hall, and they were getting fire prevention lessons, and one of the firemen said to a little girl, if your clothes were caught on fire, what would you do? And the little girl says, I wouldn't put them on. And the Japanese man went to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor told the Japanese man, you have cataracts. And the Japanese man says, I do not. I have a Lincoln Continental. Now, Roberta leaves cigarette butts outside the front door. They're her butts. They say Salem, and they have lipstick on them. And there's butts all over the ground, to the right of the to the right of the walk, and to the left of the walk. There are about 20 cigarette butt burns on the tablecloth, on the laundry table, in the laundry area. And always when she's down there and she washes something black that's fuzzy, and then she leaves the black fuzz all over the floor, litters the floor, and other pieces, and always leaves a white, not always, but very often leaves a white plastic laundry bag down there instead of taking care of it. There's no need of that. A good neighbor would not litter up the laundry area and would keep it nice and clean. And there's the telephone. The telephone call was the Jewish Heritage Foundation, and it was about an ad on TV. Now, back to the wall log. At 5 a.m. Wednesday, a very tall man went by the southeast window singing. He went north on Greenridge Avenue walking. Wednesday According to CPLR Section 8403, when costs are taxed without notice, the defendants are entitled to serve notice of retaxation within 5 days after service. Well, Glendora writes